The difference between them is that the Halos is just made out of plastic. So we're going to be talking today about the Phanteks Halos. Basically, they're RGB fan frames. You can add RGB to any system case fan. And they're super easy to use and super easy to set up. But first of all, special thanks to ASUS, which lent us the motherboard we're using for today's test rig. It is the ROG Crosshair 6 Extreme. And one nice thing about this, especially for RGB videos, is that it has both the 4-pin for non-digital RGB products and the 3-pin motherboard header for digital products. Many motherboards only have one. They don't have both. And it's really a sign that it's a premium motherboard, that it has both the 4-pin and the 3-pin header. So thank you so much, ASUS, and I hope you lend us more stuff. But onto the Phanteks Halos, basically, they come in a lot of different flavors, but the two main kinds are the Halos and the Halos Lux or the Halos Lux. The difference between them is that the Halos is just made out of plastic. The fan frame is out of plastic, and then the RGB is here in the back. And whereas the Lux version is aluminum, made out of aluminum with the RGB also in the back. To be honest, once they're installed in a case and you have them on your fans and you're looking at them, it's really hard to tell the difference between the non-aluminum and the aluminum, or basically the Lux and the non-Lux. So if you're just, wondering if there's any noticeable difference, yes, the build quality on the aluminum is of course much more solid, it's heftier. This one, the plastic seems a bit more flimsy. But bottom line, when you've installed it on your fans and you're looking inside the case, there's really not much of a difference. Although, you might want to consider the Lux Digital because it comes with a component, an accessory that is not available in the Halos Digital, which we'll get to in a little bit. So we're going to be tackling first the non-digital. Basically, non-digital RGB means that it's still RGB, and it means you can still control the color of the output, but you can't control the individual LEDs inside the RGB product. So that's just the downside to non-digital RGB. Digital, which uses 5V 3-pin, you can control the individual LEDs inside the product, so it's much more customizable on that front. But for now, we have the Halos non-digital 120mm. So we're gonna plug it in the right way. And you notice the RGB comes up right away. But you notice that I have, in my Aura Sync software, I have it set to an all-purple setup. The motherboard is purple, the CPU fan is purple, the RAM is purple. But the Halos itself is green. It's not a problem with the Halos. We've tested it multiple times using different Halos. I think the problem is Phanteks really did that on purpose. They wired it differently so that the red wire is crossed with some other wire or something. And so this is their effort for you to use Phanteks products exclusively, like proprietarily, so that you can either use Phanteks cases or Phanteks products like the RGB starter kit. But just to show to you that you can still get your desired effect, like in a different color or the specific color you want, here inside Aura Sync, we are gonna select the particular product, the Halos, that's RGB strip 1. Then I'm gonna set it to the opposite color in the color wheel, which is around aqua. Then we're gonna apply, and you notice now it's fine. Which is why it's not really a product with the actual, it's not a problem with the actual, this particular unit. It's really, I think, Phanteks did something sneaky in order that, it's easier for you if you use all Phanteks products. So that's it for the non-digital product. And now we're gonna try out the Halos Lux, this is the Halos Lux Digital 140mm. First of all, we're gonna try it in the name. And this is where, what's weird with the digital Halos is that it should plug into a 3V RGB header, but for this product, the Halos Digital, it won't plug in to the standard RGB header. You need a converter cable which only comes with the Lux version. If you get the Halos Digital, the non-Lux version, then be sure that you have a Phanteks product that's compatible because you will need to buy this converter separately. And that's when I would recommend, if you want to use the Halos Digital with non-Halos headers, then it's better if you get the Lux because then you get the converter right out of the box and you don't need to worry about finding one or, getting another separate Phanteks product. So we're gonna plug this guy into the converter. And here, and you just plug that in. Again, this is another purposely on the part of Phanteks to try to get you to use their ecosystem. And now this is a standard 3-pin 5-volt digital RGB, and you can plug it straight into the standard 3-pin RGB header on your mobile. And you'll notice with the digital version, you don't have that problem where it is not displaying the incorrect color. Since once I click purple and everything's purple, you remember before with the non-digital, this was green, but with the digital, it's no problem. And so that's the thing with the Halos product line. It's really nice to just add a little bit of RGB if you don't have any RGB yet. But there are a lot of quirks involved. There's the Halos Lux, the digital, non-digital, and then the 120mm and the 140mm. But again, if you just do a bit of your own research and you find the particular product that you need, then the Halos is pretty good for adding RGB to a setup that currently doesn't have RGB. Or if you just want to add a little bit more RGB to some premium fans that don't have it, like the Noctua fans. Noctua is infamous for not having RGB. And these will screw into any standard fan. So that is the use case for these Halos guys. Again, you just need to be a bit careful on what product you have and what's compatible with what. But once they get going, they are really quite nice. And you can notice the digital here is quite bright. So if you guys have any questions about the Halos, don't ask us. Don't ask us in the comments. Don't ask us on Lazada or whatever. Because to be honest, it's really confusing for us as well, and we don't have a lot of other Phanteks. We do have the digital RGB starter kit in stock. But if you get into the really nitty-gritty questions, to be honest, we might not be able to answer them because we don't have a lot of Phanteks cases that are open that we can use to test bed particular setups. So basically, buyer beware, or more importantly, buyer be informed. Do your own research on what is compatible with your own product if you want to use the Halos or the Halos Lux. So I hope that these basic tips help you. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and hit the subscribe button. For your PC needs, consider buying from us, Hardware Sugar, at Lazada or on our website. You can find links in the description below. And thank you for watching. See you next video.